Many of you come here seeking a change in your circumstances, a transformation in your experience of life. You desire new blessings, greater abundance, deeper love, vibrant health, or perhaps a fuller expression of your talents and gifts. I tell you with absolute conviction that these desires are not merely wishful thinking. They are the whispers of your divine nature calling you to claim what is already yours. Let us begin by understanding what transformation truly means. Transformation is not merely an outward change of circumstances. It is fundamentally a change in consciousness. When your consciousness is transformed, your world must follow, for the outer world is nothing more than a reflection of your inner assumptions. In the book of Romans it is written, "Be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind." This is the secret of all genuine transformation. The renewal of your mind, your consciousness, is the prerequisite for the renewal of your life experience. Tonight I want you to grasp this truth. God is not outside of you working to change your circumstances. God is your own wonderful human imagination, and He works from you, not to you, you are for you. The power that transforms your life is already within you, waiting to be recognized and expressed. When I speak of God leading you into new blessings, I am referring to the movement of your own divine imagination as it guides you toward the fulfillment of your desires. Your imagination is God in action. It is the creative power through which all things are made possible. Let me share with you a principle that, once understood and applied, will accelerate your transformation more than any other. It is this: you must assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled. You must enter in imagination into the state of consciousness that would be yours if your desire were already realized. If you desire wealth, you must feel wealthy now. If you desire health, you must feel healthy now. If you desire love, you must feel loved now. The feeling is the secret. The feeling, when persisted in, will harden into fact. I remember a lady who attended my lectures in New York. She came to me in desperation, having lost her job, depleted her savings, and faced eviction from her apartment. She told me she needed a miracle within 30 days. I instructed her to imagine each night before sleep that she was in her own apartment, secure and at peace, with more than enough money to meet her needs. I told her to make this imaginal act so real that it would have the tones of reality. She was to feel the relief, the security, the gratitude that would be hers if her problems were solved. She was faithful to this instruction, and before the 30 days had elapsed, she received an unexpected inheritance from a relative she barely knew. The sum was more than sufficient to secure her home and establish a foundation for future abundance. Was this a coincidence? I tell you, there is no such thing as coincidence. There is only the working of law. She had impressed her subconscious mind with a new concept of herself, and her outer world reshaped itself to match this inner conviction. This season of transformation that you have entered is governed by immutable spiritual laws. The first of these laws is the law of consciousness. Your consciousness is the sole cause of your experience. Nothing comes to you except what comes through you, through your consciousness. Many of you believe that your circumstances are caused by factors outside yourself, the economy, other people, past events, or even fate. But I tell you, these are only the effects, never the cause. The sole cause of the phenomena of life is consciousness. Change your consciousness of yourself and your world, and you change your world. The second law governing your transformation is the law of assumption. Whatever state you assume, consciously or unconsciously, that you will express, and whatever state you express, that you will become. Therefore, to transform your life, you must assume the state of consciousness that would be yours if you are already the person you wish to be, having the things you desire to have. This is not pretense or make-believe. This is the creative use of your imagination to impress upon your subconscious mind a new concept of yourself. Your subconscious does not argue or question. It simply accepts what you impress upon it through your conscious assumptions, and then works faithfully to bring these assumptions into your visible. The third law governing your transformation is the law of expression. What you express, you experience. What you experience, you become. Therefore, to enter your season of new blessings, you must express the qualities and characteristics of Tekla. If you desire abundance, express generosity. If you desire love, express love. If you desire success, express the qualities of success, confidence, competence, persistence, and optimistic expectation. The world mirrors back to you what you express from within. Now let me show you how to apply these laws practically to accelerate your transformation. First, clarify in your mind exactly what you desire. Be specific. If it is a new home, envision in detail. If it is a loving relationship, feel the presence of your ideal partner. If it is career advancement, see yourself performing your new role with confidence and skill. Next, create a scene in your imagination that implies the fulfillment of your desire. This scene, when entered into fully, produces a sense of naturalness and reality. It should be a scene that would naturally occur after your desire is realized. For instance, if your desire is for a promotion at work, imagine a friend congratulating you on your new position. Hear their voice, feel their handshake or embrace, experience the joy of sharing your good news. Make it as vivid and real as possible. Then, in a state of deep relaxation, preferably just before sleep when your mind is most receptive, enter into this scene. Become so absorbed in it that it feels more real than your present circumstances. Feel the joy, the gratitude, the sense of fulfillment that would be yours if your desire were already accomplished. Do this night after night, and you will be amazed at how quickly your outer world begins to reorganize itself to match your inner conviction. This is not magic. It is the operation of spiritual law. One of the most common obstacles to transformation is the tendency to look for evidence in the outer world before believing in the reality of your original act. But this is backwards. You must believe in order to see, not see in order to believe. In the Gospel of Mark, Jesus says, "Therefore I tell you, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours." Note the tense, believe that you have received it, not that you will receive it. This is the secret of successful prayer. Prayer is not begging or pleading with a God outside yourself. True prayer is the feeling of gratitude and fulfillment that comes from consciously entering the state of your wish fulfilled. When you pray in this manner, you activate the creative power of your subconscious mind, which then works tirelessly to bring about the conditions necessary for the fulfillment of your desire. Another obstacle to transformation is the habit of negative self-talk and doubt. Many of you sabotage your own transformation by continually affirming your limitations and problems. Remember, your word is your wand. Whatever you affirm with conviction becomes your experience. Therefore, guard your thoughts and words carefully. Speak as though your desires are already fulfilled. Use the language of fulfillment, not of want or lack. Instead of saying, "I want better health," say, "I am grateful for my vibrant health." Instead of saying, "I need more money," say, "I am abundantly supplied with anything I need." This is not self-deception. It is the conscious use of the creative power of your word to establish a new pattern in your subconscious mind. Now let us go deeper into the nature of this season of transformation. A season suggests a period of time with a beginning and an end. But from the perspective of divine mind, time is an illusion. All states of consciousness exist simultaneously in the eternal now. What appears to you as a process unfolding over time is, in reality, the movement of your awareness from one state to another. The state you desire already exists in its completeness. Your transformation is simply the journey of your consciousness from where you are to where you wish to be. This journey, while it appears to take place in time, is actually a shift in identity. You are moving from one concept of self to another. As your self-concept changes, your experience changes to match it. In the book of Exodus, when Moses asked God for his name, God replied, "I am that I am." This is the foundation of all transformation. Whatever you attach to the statement "I am" defines your reality. Change your "I am," and you change your life. If you habitually declare, "I am sick, I am broke, I am unlucky in love," you bind yourself to these conditions. But when you boldly declare, "I am whole, I am abundantly supplied, I am loved and loving," you set in motion the forces that will transform your experience to match these declarations. The power of the "I am" cannot be overestimated. It is the creative power of God in you, and it shapes your world according to your use of it. Therefore, be supremely careful of what you attach to these two potent words. Now, as you enter this season of transformation, you must be willing to let go of the old to make way for the new. This is the principle of death and rebirth that we see throughout nature and scripture. In the Gospel of John, Jesus says, unless a grain of wheat falls into the earth and dies, it remains alone, but if it dies, it bears much fruit. This is the pattern of all genuine transformation. The old self must die for the new self to be born. This does not mean physical death, but the death of old concepts, old beliefs, and old patterns of thought that no longer serve your highest good. As you let go of these limitations, you create space for your new blessings to manifest. Many of you cling to your problems, your grievances, your stories of limitation and lack, as though they were precious possessions. But I tell you, you must be willing to release them, to let them die, in order to experience the rebirth of your consciousness in a higher state. This release happens not by fighting against the old, but by simply occupying a new state of consciousness. As you persist in your new assumption, the old fades away naturally, just as darkness disappears with the coming of light. Let me share with you another principle that will orchestrate your transformation, the principle of Sabbath. In the biblical tradition, the Sabbath is a day of rest, a day when one ceases from all labor and simply enjoys the fruits of previous work. In the context of conscious creation, the Sabbath represents the mental attitude of rest that comes from knowing that your work is done. After you have performed your imaginal act, entering fully into the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you must rest in the conviction that the seed has been planted and will, in due course, bear fruit. This rest is not inactivity, but a peaceful confidence, a cessation of anxiety and effort. It is the opposite of the frantic striving that characterizes so much of human endeavor. When you truly understand that your imaginal act is the cause, and that the outer manifestation must follow as effect, you can rest from your mental labor. You need not constantly repeat your imaginative work or worry about results. The seed has been planted, and it will grow in its appointed time. This Sabbath state of mind is crucial to successful manifestation. Many of you sabotage your creative work by continually digging up the seed to see if it's growing. You vacillate between states, sometimes believing in your desires' fulfillment, sometimes doubting, sometimes hoping, sometimes fearing. But the law operates with mathematical precision. What you sow, you reap. If you sow a seed of fulfillment by assuming the feeling of your wish fulfilled, and then rest in that assumption, the harvest is certain. Now let us address another aspect of this season of transformation, the role of divine timing. While all states exist now in the realm of pure potential, their expression in your three-dimensional reality unfolds according to what Scripture calls the fullness of time. In Ecclesiastes, it is written, to everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under heaven. Divine timing is perfect, and it takes into account factors beyond your conscious awareness. Sometimes there are lessons to be learned, understandings to be gained, or preparations to be made before your desire can manifest in its fullest form. Trust the wisdom of your deeper self, which knows the perfect timing for all things. This does not mean passive waiting. It means actively maintaining the consciousness of your wish fulfilled while going about your daily life with confidence and peace. The bridge of incidents that leads to your desire's fulfillment is being built, even when you cannot yet see it. Often, what appears to be a delay or even a setback is actually part of the perfect pattern leading to your good. In hindsight, you will see that every step of the journey was necessary and perfectly timed. Remember, too, that transformation rarely happens in a straight line. There may be periods of rapid change followed by plateaus where nothing seems to be happening. There may be temporary setbacks or challenges that test your faith in the process. These apparent obstacles are not indications of failure, but opportunities for deeper understanding and stronger commitment to your vision. Each challenge overcome strengthens your faith in the creative power within you and prepares you for greater expansions of that power. The key is to maintain your chosen state of consciousness regardless of appearances. This is what Jesus meant when he said, judge not according to the appearance, but judge righteous judgment. Righteous judgment is judgment according to the truth of your being, not according to temporary conditions. When outer circumstances seem to contradict your inner assumption, that is the time to stand firm in your conviction. Reaffirm the truth of your being. Re-enter the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Remember that appearances are the effects of past thinking, while your present assumption is creating your future experience. This steadfastness in the face of contrary evidence is the mark of spiritual maturity. It is the faith that moves mountains. It is the certainty that what is impressed on your subconscious mind must express itself in your outer world, regardless of seeming impossibilities. Now, let us consider another dimension of your transformation, the transformation of your relationships. Many of you desire changes in your relationships with others, more love, more understanding, more harmony, more mutual respect. The principle that governs all relationships is simple yet profound. You can only experience in others what you first find in yourself. Your relationships mirror your self-concept. How you see yourself determines how others see and treat you. If you feel unworthy of love, you will find evidence of your unworthiness in your relationships. If you feel worthy of the highest love and respect, you will experience that worthiness reflected back to you by others. Therefore, to transform any relationship, you must first transform your concept of yourself in relation to the other person. See yourself as loving and loved, as understanding and understood, as appreciating and appreciated. Feel the reality of this new relationship within yourself and persist in this feeling until it externalizes in your experience. Remember too that everyone in your life is yourself pushed out. They are acting according to your concept of them. Change your concept, and their behavior towards you must change. This does not mean manipulating others or imposing your will upon them. It means recognizing that your consciousness is the cause of your experience of others and taking responsibility for that consciousness. When you truly grasp this principle, you will no longer blame others for your relationship problems. You will recognize that the power to transform all your relationships lies within you, in your concept of yourself and others. This brings us to another important aspect of your season of transformation, the role of gratitude. Gratitude is not merely a pleasant emotion. It is a transformative force that accelerates the manifestation of your desires. When you express gratitude for what you have received in imagination, you affirm the reality of your desire's fulfillment. You align your emotional state with the state of fulfillment, and this alignment is magnetic to similar experiences in your outer world. Gratitude also keeps you focused on abundance rather than lack. What you focus on expands in your experience. When you count your blessings multiply. When you dwell on your problems persist and grow. Therefore, make gratitude a daily practice. Before sleep each night, review the events of your day and find reasons to be grateful. Include in your gratitude not only what is already manifested, but also what exists in your imagination as fulfilled desire. Thank God, your wonderful human imagination, for the perfect fulfillment of your desires. Feel the joy and relief of problems solved, desires fulfilled, and prayers answered. This attitude of thankfulness is the fertile soil in which the seeds of your desires grow and flourish. Now I want to address a question that many of you have asked. What about the desires that seem to go unfulfilled despite your faithful application of these principles? First, understand that no sincere desire placed in your heart is ever denied. What appears as denial is redirection, or the manifestation of something better than what you initially conceived. Second, examine your consciousness honestly. Are you maintaining two opposing states simultaneously? Are you affirming abundance while secretly fearing lack? Are you claiming health while dwelling on symptoms? This divided mind dilutes the power of your creative imagination. James wrote, "A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. Let not that man think he shall receive anything of the Lord." Single-mindedness, unwavering focus on your desired state is essential for successful manifestation. Third, consider whether your desire is truly your own or an adopted belief about what you should want. True desires come from your deeper self and are charged with emotional energy. Artificial desires, those based on social expectations or comparison with others, lack this emotional charge completely, if at all. Finally, be open to the possibility that your deeper self knows better than your conscious mind what will truly fulfill you. Sometimes what appears an unfulfilled desire is actually your higher self guiding you towards something more aligned with your true purpose and joy. Trust this inner wisdom. It is the voice of God within you, leading you to your highest good, even when the path differs from your conscious expectations. As we move deeper into this teaching of transformation, I want to emphasize the importance of persistence. Many of you begin well applying these principles with enthusiasm, but abandon your efforts when results are not immediately apparent. Persist in your chosen state is crucial. In the parable of the sower, Jesus speaks that the seed that fell on good ground brought forth fruit 30-fold, 60-fold, and some 100-fold. The difference in yield was not in the quality of the seed, but in the conditions that allowed for full development. Your imaginal act is the seed. The soil is your subconscious mind. The conditions that determine the harvest are your persistence in maintaining the feeling of your wish fulfilled, your emotional commitment to your vision, and your unwavering faith in the creative process. Some desires manifest quickly, others take longer. The time required depends on many factors: the nature of the desire, the gap between your current state and your desired state, the degree of conviction with which you hold your new assumption, and the readiness of your subconscious mind to accept the new pattern. Do not be discouraged by apparent delays. Remember Habakkuk's words, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it surely come. It will not tarry." This paradoxical statement, "though it tarry, it will not tarry," suggests that while there may seem to be a delay from your time-bound perspective, from the eternal perspective, every desire manifests at exactly the right moment, neither too soon nor too late. Trust the process. Hold steady in your assumption. Know that the laws of mind are as reliable as the laws of physics. What you have planted in consciousness must manifest in experience, according to the pattern you have established. Now let us consider another dimension of your season of transformation, the transformation of your purpose and contribution to the world. Many of you desire not only personal fulfillment, but also the opportunity to make a meaningful difference in the lives of others. This desire for significance, for contribution, for leaving a positive mark on the world is one of the noblest aspects of human nature. It reflects your understanding, conscious or unconscious, that you are more than a physical being seeking physical satisfactions. You are a spiritual being having a human experience. And your greatest joy comes from expressing your spiritual nature through service and contribution. How then do you transform your sense of purpose and maximize your contribution? By the same principle that governs all transformation, a change in consciousness. See yourself as already fulfilling your highest purpose. Feel the satisfaction of making your unique contribution. Experience in imagination the joy of using your special gifts in service to others. Feel the gratitude of those whose lives are touched by your work. As you persist in this new self-concept, opportunities for meaningful service will naturally appear in your experience. You will be guided to the right circumstances, the right people, the right timing for the expression of your purpose. Remember, too, that purpose is not always grand or dramatic. Sometimes the most meaningful contributions are made through simple acts of kindness, through being fully present with another person, through bringing more love and awareness to whatever work you currently do. Your unique purpose is not something you need to invent or acquire. It is already within you, waiting to be recognized and expressed. It is the natural outgrowth of your authentic self, your true identity. As your consciousness transforms through the application of these principles, your sense of identity expands. You begin to recognize yourself as more than a person with a particular name, body, personality, and history. You recognize yourself as an individualized expression of the divine, a unique emanation of the one created consciousness that underlies all existence. This expanded self-awareness is the ultimate transformation, the realization of your true nature. It is what Jesus referred to when he said, "The kingdom of God is within you." It is what Paul meant by Christ in you, the hope of glory. From this awareness, you naturally express your divine nature in ways that bless both yourself and others. Your life becomes a channel for the expression of love, wisdom, creativity, abundance, and joy. Your unique gifts and talents are employed in service to the greater good, not from obligation, but from the overflow of your inner fulfillment. This is the true meaning of your season of transformation. It is not merely a change in circumstances, but an awakening to your divine nature and the limitless possibilities that flow from that awakening. Now, as we approach the conclusion of our discussion, I want to leave you with a practical exercise that will help you anchor these principles in your daily experience and accelerate your transformation. Each night, before you sleep, enter into a state of deep relaxation. Let go of the concerns and activities of the day. Quiet your mind and body until you feel a sense of peace and receptivity. Then, mentally review your day from the perspective of your wish fulfilled. Revise any events that were less than perfect, seeing them now as you would have preferred them to be. Experience the joy of your desires already fulfilled, the relief of your problems already solved, the gratitude for your prayers already answered. Next, select a scene that implies the fulfillment of your heart's desire. Make it short, simple, and as vivid as possible. A handshake of congratulation, a phone call sharing good news, the sight of a new home or car, the feeling of perfect health and energy, whatever scene naturally implies that your desires now are reality. Enter into this scene completely. Be there. Make it as real as possible, engaging all your senses. See the details, hear the sounds, feel the textures and emotions. If your mind wanders, gently bring it back to your scene, enhancing its reality with each return. Continue this imaginal act until it takes on the feeling of reality, until it feels more real than your present circumstances. Then, rest in the satisfied feeling of your wish fulfilled as you drift off to sleep. This exercise, practiced faithfully, impresses your subconscious mind with the pattern of fulfillment. Your subconscious, which knows no limits and recognizes no impossibilities, then works to bring about the conditions, events, and circumstances necessary for the realization of your desire. Do this not once or twice, but consistently, until your outer world conforms to your inner conviction. Remember that feeling is the secret. When your imaginal act produces the feeling of fulfillment, the seed has been planted and the harvest is assured. As you practice this exercise night after night, you will notice a gradual shift in your daily consciousness. You will begin to think, feel, and act from the perspective of your wish fulfilled. Your words, actions, and attitudes will naturally align with your inner conviction. This alignment is crucial, for it prevents the inner conflict that so often sabotages manifestation. When your conscious beliefs, your subconscious programming, and your outer expression are all in harmony, you become a powerful channel for the manifestation of your desires. Remember, your transformation is not dependent on outer circumstances or other people. It is an inside job, a shift in consciousness that then expresses itself in changed circumstances. As within, so without. As above, so below. This is the law. And now I want to emphasize a truth that many of you overlook. The law of assumption works not only for specific desires, but also for states of consciousness. You can assume a state of grace, a state of abundance, a state of love, a state of security, or any other state. And this assumption persisted in will externalize itself in your experience. In fact, assuming a state is more powerful than focusing on specific objects or events. When you occupy a state, say the state of wealth, specific expressions of wealth naturally follow without the need for detailed visualization of each manifestation. This is why Jesus taught his disciples to seek first the kingdom of God, the state of fulfillment and rightness, and its righteousness, right use of the creative law, promising that all these things, specific manifestations, would be added unto them. So in your imaginal work, focus not only on specific outcomes, but also on the state of consciousness that those outcomes represent. What state would you be in if your desire were fulfilled? Peace, joy, freedom, security, love. Enter that state in your imagination, embody it fully, and watch as your outer world reshapes itself to match your inner state. This season of transformation that you have entered is not temporary. It is the beginning of a new way of living, a new understanding of yourself and your relationship to the creative power within you. It is the dawn of your conscious participation in the creative process of life. You are not merely a creature of circumstances subject to the whims of chance or the actions of others. You are a creative being endowed with the same creative power that fashioned the universe. This power, your own wonderful human imagination, is God in action, and it is the instrument of your transformation. Use this power consciously, lovingly, and wisely. Use it to create a life that reflects your highest vision of yourself and your world. Use it to bless yourself and others, to bring more love, more beauty, more abundance, and more joy into expression. Know that as you transform your own consciousness, you contribute to the transformation of collective consciousness. Your individual awakening is part of a larger awakening that is occurring throughout humanity. Your light, as it grows brighter, helps illuminate the path for others. This is your season of transformation. God, your own wonderful human imagination, is leading you into blessings. These blessings are not in some distant future. They exist now in your consciousness, waiting to be recognized, claimed, and expressed in your experience. I challenge you to live from this truth, to test it in the laboratory of your own life. Apply these principles faithfully and watch as your world transforms before your eyes. The power is within you. The time is now. Your season of transformation has begun. In closing, let me remind you of a profound truth expressed in the first chapter of Genesis. After each act of creation, God saw that it was good. This is the pattern for your own creative work. See your creation as complete and perfect. Pronounce it good. Rest in the satisfaction of creative fulfillment. Then, like the divine creator of which you are an individualized expression, move on to your next creation, bringing more and more of your infinite potential into expression, blessing yourself and your world in ever-expanding ways. This is your divine destiny. This is your season of transformation. Embrace it fully and step into the greater expression of who you truly are. Thank you for your attention. And may your transformation be swift, complete, and filled with joy. Let us begin by understanding what it truly means to walk alone like a lone wolf. This is not a call to isolate yourself from the world, to shun human connection, or to live in physical solitude. No, my friends, this aloneness is a state of mind, a way of being that transcends the physical realm. It is about cultivating an inner strength, an unwavering faith in your own vision, and the courage to follow your unique path, regardless of what others may think or say. The lone wolf, in nature, is not weak or vulnerable. On the contrary, it is a creature of immense strength, adaptability, and resilience. It has learned to trust its instincts, to rely on its own abilities, and to navigate the wilderness with confidence and grace. This is the essence of what it means to walk alone like a lone wolf in your spiritual and mental journey. Now, you might ask, but Neville, how does this align with the law of assumption and the power of imagination that you often speak about, my dear friends? It aligns perfectly. For you see, to truly harness the power of your imagination, to fully embody the state of your wish fulfilled, you must be willing to stand alone in your conviction, to hold fast to your vision, even when the entire world seems to contradict it. Remember, the world you see around you is nothing more than a shadow, a reflection of your inner states and assumptions. It is not the cause, but the effect. Therefore, to change your world, you must be willing to change your inner state, to assume a new way of being, regardless of what your senses or others may tell. This requires the strength and independence of the lone wolf. When you choose to walk alone like a lone wolf, you are choosing to trust in the power of your own imagination above all else. You are declaring to the universe that your inner vision, your assumed state, is more real, more true than any external circumstance or opinion. This, my friends, is the essence of true faith, and it is through this faith that miracles are wrought. Consider for a moment the great visionaries and innovators throughout history. Were they not, in essence, lone wolves? Did they not hold fast to their visions, their dreams, even when the rest of the world doubted or ridiculed them? They understood, perhaps intuitively, that to bring something truly new into the world, one must be willing to stand alone, to walk a path that others cannot yet see. This willingness to walk alone, to trust in your own vision above all else, is not always easy. The world will often try to pull you back into the fold, to conform to what is normal or expected friends and family with the best of intentions, may try to dissuade you from your path, urging you to be realistic or practical. But my dear friends, remember this: what the world calls realistic is often just a collective agreement to limit it. As a lone wolf, you must be willing to break free from these limitations, to see beyond the apparent facts of your current reality. You must be willing to assume the state of your wish fulfilled, to live from the end, even when there is no external evidence to support your assumption. This requires courage, it requires faith, and above all, it requires the willingness to stand alone in your conviction. But let me assure you, this aloneness is not a burden, but a liberation. When you truly embrace the mindset of the lone wolf, you free yourself from the need for external validation or approval. You no longer seek permission from others to be who you truly are or to pursue your deepest desires. You understand that the only permission you need comes from within, from your own imagination and assumption. This freedom, this independence is the source of true power. For when you no longer depend on others for your sense of self or your belief in what's possible, you become unstoppable. You become a force of nature, much like the lone wolf itself, moving through the world with purpose, confidence, and an unwavering sense of direction. Now let us delve deeper into how this concept of walking alone like a lone wolf applies to the practical application of the law of assumption and the power of a sound. When you set out to manifest a desire, to bring about a change in your life or in the world around you, you are essentially embarking on a journey of transformation. And like any journey of true transformation, it often begins with a step into the unknown, a willingness to leave behind the familiar and venture into uncharted territory. This is where the spirit of the lone wolf becomes crucial, for in those early stages of your journey, when your desired state exists only in your imagination, you may find yourself alone in your vision. The world around you, including those closest to you, may not yet see or understand what you're working towards. They may doubt, they may question, they may even try to discourage you. But like the lone wolf, you must trust in your own instincts, in your own vision, and continue forward regardless of external opinions or apparent obstacles. Remember, my dear friends, that your imagination is the gateway to infinite possibilities. It is the workshop where you craft a template for your future experiences. When you enter into the silence of your own mind, when you close your eyes to the world of shadows and open your inner eye to the world of imagination, you are tapping into a power that transcends all physical limitations. In this inner world, you are truly alone, but it is an aloneness filled with infinite potential. Here, in the realm of pure imagination, you are free to assume any state you desire. You can see yourself as you wish to be, feel the emotions of your wish fulfilled, and experience the reality of your desire accomplished. And in this state of focused, solitary imagination, you are planting the seed of your future manifestation. But here's the crucial point, my friends. Once you have planted this seed in your imagination, once you have fully assumed the state of your wish fulfilled, you must have the courage and conviction to maintain this state, regardless of external circumstances. This is where the strength of the lone wolf becomes invaluable. The world around you may not immediately reflect your inner assumption. In fact, for a time, it may seem to contradict it entirely. This is the moment when many falter, when they allow doubt to creep in, when they abandon their vision in favor of conforming to the reality they see around them. But not the lone wolf. Not you, my dear friends, if you truly embrace this principle. Like the lone wolf, you must be willing to stand alone in your conviction. You must be willing to walk your path with unwavering faith, even when no one else can see where you're going. For you understand the profound truth. The world you see is not the cause of your experience, but the effect of your assumptions. Therefore, by maintaining your assumption, by living from the end, you are actively reshaping your reality, calling forth a new world that aligns with your vision. This ability to stand firm in your assumption, to walk alone in your faith, is the mark of a true master of the law. It is what separates those who merely dabble in these principles from those who truly embody them and transform their lives as a result. Now, some may misunderstand this concept of walking alone like a lone wolf. They may think it means cutting yourself off from others, isolating yourself from the world. But this is not the case at all. Remember, the lone wolf is not weak or vulnerable in its solitude. It is strong, adaptable, and fully capable of engaging with the world on its own terms. Similarly, when you embrace the mindset of the lone wolf in your spiritual journey, you are not withdrawing from the world. Rather, you are engaging with it from a place of inner strength and certainty. You are no longer swayed by every opinion, or buffeted by every circumstance. Instead, you move through the world with purpose and grace, guided by your inner vision. This inner strength, this unwavering faith in your own vision, actually enhances your ability to connect with others. For when you are secure in who you are and what you believe, when you no longer seek validation or permission from others, you become magnetic. People are drawn to your certainty, to your quiet confidence, to the sense of purpose that emanates from you. Moreover, as you walk your path with the courage and independence of the lone wolf, you inspire others to do the same. You become a living example of what's possible when one has the courage to follow their own vision, to trust in their own imagination. In this way, your solitary journey becomes a beacon of light for others, showing them that they too can break free from limitation and manifest their deepest desires. But let us be clear, my dear friends, this path of the lone wolf is not always easy. There will be moments of doubt, moments when the temptation to conform, to give in to the opinions of others will be strong. There will be times when your faith is tested, when the gap between your inner assumption and your outer reality seems insurmountable. In these moments, remember the lone wolf. Remember its strength, its resilience, its unwavering trust in its own instincts. Draw upon this image, embody this spirit. For in truth, this lone wolf is not separate from you. It is an aspect of your own being, a representation of your own inner strength and wisdom. When doubt creeps in, when the world seems to contradict your vision, go within. Enter once again into the silence of your imagination. Reconnect with the feeling of your wish fulfilled. See yourself as you wish to be. Feel the emotions of your desire accomplished. Reaffirm your assumption with the quiet certainty of the lone wolf. For you see, my friends, this journey of manifestation, this path of conscious creation, is not a one-time event. It is a continuous process, a moment-by-moment choice to align yourself with your desired state. And in each moment, you have the opportunity to choose anew, to reaffirm your assumption, to walk alone in your conviction if necessary. This consistent, unwavering faith in your own vision is what gives power to your manifestations. It is what allows the seed planted in your imagination to take root and grow in the fertile soil of the universal subconscious. For remember, the subconscious mind does not distinguish between what is vividly imagined and what is experienced in the physical world. Therefore, as you persist in your assumption, as you consistently embody the state of your wish fulfilled, you are impressing this new reality upon your subconscious mind. And once impressed, your subconscious mind must express this new state in your outer world. It has no choice in the matter. This is the law of your being. Your outer world must conform to your inner assumptions. It is in this way that you, like the lone wolf, shape your reality through the power of your own consciousness. Now let us address a common concern that may arise when embracing this concept of walking alone like a lone wolf. Some may worry that this approach might lead to selfishness or a lack of compassion for others. But nothing could be further from the truth. You see, when you truly understand and apply these principles, when you fully embrace your power as a conscious creator, you realize a profound truth. We are all one. Your consciousness, your awareness is not separate from the consciousness that pervades all of existence. Therefore, as you elevate yourself, as you manifest your desires and live your best life, you are contributing to the elevation of all humanity. The lone wolf, in its strength and independence, does not diminish the pack. On the contrary, it strengthens it. It brings new experiences, new perspectives, new possibilities back to the collective. In the same way, as you walk your unique path, as you manifest your deepest desires, you expand the field of possibilities for all of humanity. Moreover, from this place of inner strength and certainty, you are better equipped to truly help others. No longer driven by need or lack, no longer seeking validation or approval, you can offer genuine support and compassion. You can inspire others not through words alone, but through the example of your own life, through the radiance of your own being. As you continue on this path, as you embrace the spirit of the lone wolf in your spiritual journey, you will find that your perception of the world begins to shift. What once seemed solid and unchangeable now reveals itself to be fluid, responsive to your consciousness. The limitations that once seemed so real and insurmountable begin to dissolve in the light of your expanding awareness. You begin to see the world not as a fixed external reality, but as a mirror reflecting back to you your own states of consciousness. And with this understanding comes true freedom. For when you realize that the world is responding to you, not the other way around, you reclaim your power as a conscious creator. This, my dear friends, is the true gift of walking alone like a lone wolf. It is not about isolation or separation, but about reclaiming your power, about reconnecting with your own inner wisdom and strength. It is about having the courage to follow your own path, to trust in your own vision, even when the whole world seems to be moving in a different direction. Remember, the greatest innovations, the most profound transformations in human history have often begun with a single individual who was willing to stand alone in the Sahara. From this solitary beginning, entire movements have been born. Entire paradigms have shifted. This is the power that lies within each of you, waiting to be claimed. So I urge you, my dear friends, embrace the spirit of the lone wolf. Have the courage to walk alone when necessary, to stand firm in your convictions, to trust in the power of your own imagination above all else. For in doing so, you are not just transforming your own life, you are contributing to the transformation of the entire world. As we near the end of our time together, I want to leave you with this final thought. The path of the lone wolf, the journey of conscious creation, is not a destination but a continuous unfolding. It is a moment-by-moment choice to align yourself with your highest vision, to live from the state of your wish fulfilled, to trust in the power of your own imagination. There will be challenges along the way. There will be moments of doubt, moments when the temptation to conform, to give in to the apparent reality of the world will be strong. But in these moments, remember the strength of the lone wolf. Remember your own inner power. Remember that you are the operant power in your world, that your consciousness is the only reality. Go forth from this place tonight with a renewed commitment to your own path, to your own vision. Have the courage to walk alone when necessary, to stand firm in your assumptions, even when the world seems to contradict them. For it is through this unwavering faith, this willingness to be a lone wolf in your spiritual journey, that you will manifest your deepest desires and create a life beyond your wildest dreams. And know that as you do so, as you embrace your power as a conscious creator, you are fulfilling the grandest purpose of all. You are allowing the divine to express more fully through you. You are becoming a clearer channel for infinite intelligence to enter this world. So shine bright, my dear friends. Walk your path with the strength and independence of the lone wolf. For in doing so, you not only transform your own life, but you light the way for others, showing them what's possible when one has the courage to trust in their own vision, to live from their imagination, to be the conscious creator of their own reality. Remember, the power is within you. The kingdom of heaven is at hand. It is closer than your breath, nearer than your heartbeat. It is not something to be attained, but something to be realized, to be expressed, to be lived. And it is through the courage to walk alone, to be the lone wolf in your spiritual journey, that you bring this realization into your conscious experience. As you leave here tonight, carry this truth with you. Let it be your guiding light, your constant companion. Let it inform every aspect of your being, your thoughts, your feelings, your actions. For as you do so, you will find that life becomes a joyous adventure, a grand exploration of your infinite potential. And so, my dear friends, I bid you good night. But know that this is not an ending, but a beginning of a new life, a new way of being, a life of conscious creation, of deliberate manifestation, of walking your unique path with the strength and independence of the lone wolf. Go forth and create miracles. Go forth and live the life you have always dreamed of. Go forth and be the divine beings that you truly are. For in doing so, you fulfill your highest purpose. You express your truest nature, and you bring heaven to earth. Good night, my dear friends, and may your journey as a lone wolf, as a conscious creator, be filled with joy, wonder, and endless discovery. For you are the makers of your destiny, the authors of your story, the creators of your reality. Embrace this power, use it wisely, and watch as your life transforms in ways you never thought possible. Remember, it all begins with you, with your imagination, your assumption, your willingness to walk alone in your conviction. Master these, and you master your world. For in truth, there is no world out there independent of your consciousness. It all exists within you, waiting to be called forth by your creative power. So call forth a world of beauty, of love, of abundance. Call forth a reality that reflects your highest vision of yourself and of humanity. For as you do so, you participate in the greatest act of creation possible, the conscious evolution of human consciousness. And with that, my dear friends, I leave you to your own divine exploration. May your imagination be vivid, your faith unshakable, your path clear, and your manifestations miraculous. For this is your true nature, your divine birthright. We are here to explore a vital aspect of our being, one that governs every facet of our lives. Our topic this evening is force yourself to be disciplined. Now you might wonder why we use the word force in conjunction with discipline. It may seem contradictory to your understanding of the law of assumption and the power of imagination that we often discuss. But I assure you, my dear friends, that this force is not an external compulsion, but rather an internal commitment, a deliberate choice to align yourself with your highest ideals and deepest desires. Discipline, in its true sense, is not a constraint, but a liberation. It is the bridge between your current state and your desired state. It is the vehicle that transports you from where you are to where you want to be. And it is through the consistent application of discipline that you become the person capable of living the life you've imagined. Let us begin by understanding the nature of discipline. Discipline is not punishment, nor is it deprivation. It is, in essence, the art of self-mastery. It is the conscious decision to take control of your thoughts, your actions, and your very being. It is the recognition that you are the operant power in your world, and that through your disciplined imagination and assumption, you can shape your reality according to your will. But why must we force ourselves to be disciplined? Because, my dear friends, we are creatures of habit. Our minds, left to their own devices, will follow the path of least resistance. They will gravitate towards comfort, towards the familiar, even if that familiarity is a state of lack or limitation. To break free from these habitual patterns, to elevate ourselves to new heights of being, we must exert a force, a conscious, deliberate effort to think and act in alignment with our desired state. This force is not violence against the self. It is not a battle or a struggle. Rather, it is a loving commitment to your highest good. It is an act of self-love, of self-respect. When you force yourself to be disciplined, you are saying to yourself, I love you enough to give you the very best. I respect you enough to demand excellence from you. Now let us consider how this discipline manifests in our daily lives. It begins with your thoughts. Every moment of every day, you are thinking. But how often are you aware of these thoughts? How often do you consciously direct them? This is where discipline of the mind comes into play. Force yourself to be aware of your thoughts. Catch yourself when you're thinking thoughts of lack, of limitation, of fear. These thoughts are not serving your highest good. They are not aligned with the divine being that you truly are. When you catch these thoughts, do not judge them. Do not fight against them. Simply observe them. And then with loving discipline, redirect your mind to thoughts that serve you. Imagine the person you wish to be. See yourself living the life you desire. Feel the joy, the fulfillment, the peace that comes with this state. Hold this image in your mind with unwavering focus. This, my dear friends, is mental discipline. It is the conscious direction of your thoughts towards your desired state of being. But discipline of thought is not enough. It must be coupled with discipline of feeling. For it is your feeling that gives life to your thoughts, that impresses them upon your subconscious mind. Force yourself to feel the reality of your imagined state. Feel it with all the intensity you can muster. Feel it as though it were already a fact in the external world. This discipline of feeling is not always easy. There will be times when your current circumstances seem to contradict your desired state. There will be moments when doubt creeps in, when fear threatens to overwhelm you. In these moments, you must force yourself to maintain the feeling of your wish fulfilled. You must discipline your emotional state, choosing to feel joy, abundance, and peace regardless of external conditions. Remember, my dear friends, that your outer world is but a reflection of your inner state. As within, so without. Therefore, by disciplining your inner world, your thoughts and feelings, you inevitably transform your outer world. This is the power of disciplined imagination and assumption. Now let us consider the discipline of action. For while thought and feeling are powerful, they must be supported by aligned action. Force yourself to act from the state of your wish fulfilled. Behave as the person you wish to be would behave. Make decisions as that person would make them. Speak as that person would speak. This discipline of action requires courage. It demands that you step out of your comfort zone, that you do things that may feel unfamiliar or even frightening. But remember, growth occurs at the edge of your comfort zone. By forcing yourself to act in alignment with your desired state, you are breaking old patterns and creating new ones. You are literally rewiring your brain, creating new neural pathways that support your new way of being. One of the most powerful forms of disciplined action is the spoken word. Force yourself to speak words that align with your desired reality. Eliminate phrases of doubt, of lack, of limitation from your vocabulary. Replace them with words of power, of abundance, of certainty. Speak as though your desire were already fulfilled. For your words are decrees, they are commands to the universal subconscious mind. When you catch yourself speaking words that do not serve your highest good, do not berate yourself. Simply pause, take a deep breath, and consciously choose words that align with your desired state. This discipline of speech will not only impact your own subconscious mind, but will also influence those around you. For the world responds to your words, reflecting back to you the reality you declare. Now, my dear friends, let us delve deeper into the concept of forcing yourself to be disciplined. This force, as I mentioned earlier, is not an external compulsion. It is an internal commitment, a conscious choice to align yourself with your highest ideals. But how do we cultivate this force? How do we strengthen our capacity for discipline? It begins with a clear vision of your desired state. You must know with absolute clarity who you wish to be, what you wish to experience, what you wish to achieve. This vision becomes your North Star, guiding all your thoughts, feelings, and actions. Without this clear vision, discipline becomes aimless, a mere exercise in self-denial without purpose. So force yourself to clarify your vision. Spend time in quiet contemplation, exploring the depths of your desires. What is it that you truly want? Not what society tells you to want, not what others expect of you, but what resonates with the deepest part of your being. This clarity of vision is the foundation of true discipline. Once you have this vision, you must commit to it with every fiber of your being. This commitment is the source of the force that drives your discipline. It is the wellspring from which you draw strength when faced with challenges or setbacks. Force yourself to recommit to your vision daily. Make it a sacred practice, a ritual that reinforces your dedication to your desired state. This commitment, this force manifests as a series of choices. Every moment of every day you are making choices. You choose what to think, how to feel, how to act. Discipline is the art of consistently making choices that align with your vision, even when it's difficult, even when it's uncomfortable. Force yourself to be aware of these choices. Catch yourself in the moment of decision. Are you choosing thoughts that support your vision or undermine it? Are you choosing feelings that elevate you or diminish you? Are you choosing actions that move you towards your goal or away from it? This awareness, this constant vigilance is a crucial aspect of discipline. But discipline is not about perfection. It's not about never making a mistake or never falling short. True discipline includes the ability to forgive yourself, to pick yourself up when you fall, to recommit to your vision even after a setback. Force yourself to be compassionate with yourself. Treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer a dear friend. Remember, my dear friends, that you are engaging in a process of transformation. You are literally remaking yourself, recreating yourself in the image of your highest ideals. This process takes time. It requires patience, persistence, and above all, discipline. Force yourself to be patient with this process. Understand that change doesn't happen overnight. Your current state, your current habits of thought and feeling and action were not formed in a day. They are the result of years of repetition, of unconscious patterns. To change these patterns requires time and consistent effort. But do not let this discourage you. For every moment of disciplined thought, every instance of aligned feeling, every act of committed behavior is a step towards your desired state. Each choice, no matter how small it may seem, is a brick in the foundation of your new reality. Now, let us consider the role of imagination in this process of disciplined transformation. Your imagination, my dear friends, is the workshop wherein you fashion the template of your life. It is through your imagination that you can enter into the state of your wish fulfilled, experiencing now what you desire to experience in the future. Force yourself to use your imagination deliberately, consciously. Set aside time each day to enter into your imaginal scene. See yourself as you wish to be. Feel the joy, the satisfaction, the fulfillment your desire already accomplished. Make this imaginal act so vivid, so real, that it feels more present, more tangible than your current physical reality. This disciplined use of imagination is not mere daydreaming or fantasy. It is a powerful creative act. For your subconscious mind does not distinguish between what you vividly imagine and what you actually experience in the physical world. Therefore, as you persist in your imaginal act, as you discipline yourself to maintain the feeling of your wishfulness, you impress this new state upon your subconscious mind. And once impressed, your subconscious mind must express this new state in your outer world. For that is the law of your being. Your outer world must conform to your inner assumptions. It has no choice in the matter. This is the power of disciplined imagination. But imagination alone is not enough. It must be coupled with faith. You must force yourself to believe in the reality of your imaginal act. This faith is not blind optimism or wishful thinking. It is a deep, unshakable knowing that what you have imagined must come to pass. This faith, my dear friends, is itself a form of discipline. For there will be times when your senses deny the reality of your imaginal act. There will be moments when your current circumstances seem to contradict your assumed state. In these moments, you must force yourself to maintain your faith. You must discipline your mind to reject the evidence of your senses and hold fast to the truth of your imagination. Remember, the physical world is but a shadow, a reflection of your inner state. It is not the cause, but the effect. Therefore, no matter what your current circumstances may be, hold fast to your imagined state. For as you do so, as you discipline yourself to maintain your assumption, despite all evidence to the contrary, you set in motion the forces that will inevitably bring your assumption into physical reality. Now, let us consider the practical application of this disciplined approach to life. How do we force ourselves to be disciplined in our daily lives? It begins with structure. Create a daily routine that supports your vision. Set specific times for your imaginal work, for your affirmations, for actions that align with your desired state. Force yourself to stick to this routine, especially when you don't feel like it. For it is in these moments of resistance that the true power of discipline is revealed. It is easy to take inspired action when you're feeling motivated. The real test of discipline comes when you're tired, when you're discouraged, when you'd rather take the easy path. In these moments, remind yourself of your commitment. Reconnect with your vision. Force yourself to take that next step, to do that next task, to maintain that next thought, even when every fiber of your being resists. For it is through this consistent, disciplined action that you build momentum, that you create new habits, that you literally become the person capable of living your desired reality. But discipline is not all hard work and serious focus. It also includes the discipline of joy, of play, of relaxation. Force yourself to find joy in the process of transformation. Discipline yourself to celebrate every small victory, every step forward, no matter how tiny it may seem. For joy is not just the result of achieving your goals, it is the fuel that powers your journey. When you approach your discipline with joy, with a sense of playful exploration, you tap into a wellspring of energy that makes the process not just best bearable, but enjoyable. Force yourself to take time for rest and rejuvenation. Discipline yourself to care for your physical body, your emotional well-being, your spiritual connection. For you are not separate from your body, from your emotions, from your spirit. You are a unified whole, and true discipline honors all aspects of your being. Now, my dear friends, let us address a common misconception about discipline. Many believe that discipline is about rigid control, about forcing yourself to do things you don't want to do. But true discipline, the kind of discipline we're discussing tonight, is about aligning yourself with your deepest desires, with your highest good. When you force yourself to be disciplined in the way we've discussed, you're not going against your true nature. You're aligning with it. You're becoming more of who you truly are. You're allowing your divine nature to express itself more fully through you. This understanding transforms discipline from a burden into a joy. It becomes not something you have to do, but something you get to do. It becomes an expression of self-love, of self-respect, of honoring the divine being that you truly are. So force yourself to see discipline in this new light. Discipline yourself to approach your practice with joy, with excitement, with a sense of reverence for the creative power you're wielding. For in truth, this disciplined use of your imagination, this consistent alignment of your thoughts, feelings, and actions with your desired state is the highest form of prayer. It is a declaration to the universe of who you truly are. It is a command to your subconscious mind to express your divine nature more fully. It is an act of co-creation with the infinite intelligence that pervades all of existence. As you continue on this path of disciplined transformation, you will find that it becomes easier, more natural. What once required conscious effort becomes your default state of being. Your disciplined thoughts become habitual. Your assumed feelings become your natural emotional state. Your aligned actions become automatic. But do not let this fool you into complacency. Continue to force yourself to grow, to expand, to reach for even higher states of being. For there is no limit to what you can become, to what you can achieve, to what you can experience. The only limits are those you impose upon yourself through your own thoughts and assumptions. So discipline yourself to continually expand your vision. Force yourself to imagine even greater possibilities for yourself and for humanity. For as you elevate yourself, you elevate all of creation. As you discipline yourself to express more of your divine nature, you contribute to the evolution of human consciousness. Remember, my dear friends, that you are not alone in this journey. The entire universe is supporting you, conspiring to bring your assumptions into reality. Trust in this support. Have faith in the perfect working of the law. Discipline yourself to maintain this trust, this faith, even when appearances suggest otherwise. For in truth, there is no otherwise. There is only your assumption, your disciplined imagination, and its inevitable expression in the physical world. Everything else is illusion, shadow, temporary appearance. Hold fast to the truth of your being, to the reality of your assumed state, and watch as the world reshapes itself to match your assumption. As we near the end of our time together tonight, I want to leave you with this final thought. The discipline we've discussed is not a destination, but a journey. It is not something you achieve once and for all, but a continual process of growth, of expansion, of becoming. So force yourself to embrace this journey. Discipline yourself to find joy in the process, to celebrate each step along the way. For it is through this journey that you discover the true extent of your power, the limitless nature of your being. Go forth from this place tonight with a renewed commitment to discipline. Force yourself to maintain the state of your wish for fulfilled. Discipline your thoughts to dwell only on what you want to experience. Control your emotions to feel only the satisfaction of your desire accomplished. Direct your actions to align with the person you wish to be. Do this not from a place of lack or need, but from a place of power, of certainty, of knowing. For you are divine beings, creators of your reality. The discipline we've discussed tonight is simply the means by which you consciously direct this creative power. And know that as you do so, as you force yourself to be disciplined in your assumptions, in your imagination, in your faith, you are fulfilling the grandest purpose of all. You are allowing the divine to express more fully through you. You are becoming a clearer channel for infinite intelligence to enter this world. So shine bright, my dear friends. Shine with all the radiance of your disciplined imagination, your controlled emotions, your aligned actions. Shine so brightly that others cannot help but be illuminated by your light. For in doing so, you not only transform your own life, but you contribute to the transformation of the entire world. Remember, the power is within you. The kingdom of heaven is at hand. It is closer than your breath, nearer than your heartbeat. It is not something to be attained, but something to be realized, to be expressed, to be lived. And it is through the force of discipline that you bring this realization into your conscious experience. As you leave here tonight, carry this truth with you. Let it be your guiding light, your constant companion. Let it inform every aspect of your being, your thoughts, your feelings, your actions. For as you do so, you will find that life becomes a joyous adventure, a grand exploration of your infinite potential. And so, my dear friends, I bid you good night. But know that this is not an ending, but a beginning of a new life, a new way of being, a life of conscious creation, of deliberate manifestation, of disciplined self-expression. Go forth and create miracles. Go forth and live the life you have always dreamed of. Go forth and be the divine beings that you truly are. For in doing so, you fulfill your highest purpose. You express your truest nature, and you bring heaven to earth. Good night, my dear friends, and may your journey of discipline and self-realization be filled with joy, wonder, and endless discovery. For you are the makers of your destiny, the authors of your story, the creators of your reality. Embrace this power. Use it wisely and watch as your life transforms in ways you never thought possible. Remember, it all begins with you. With your disciplined imagination, your controlled emotions, your aligned actions. Master these, and you master your world. For in truth, there is no world out there independent of your consciousness. It all exists within you, waiting to be called forth by your creative power. So call forth a world of beauty, of love, of abundance. Call forth a reality that reflects your highest vision of yourself and of humanity. For as you do so, you participate in the greatest act of creation possible, the conscious evolution of human consciousness. And with that, my dear friends, I leave you to your own divine exploration. May your imagination be vivid, your faith unshakable, your discipline unwavering, and your manifestations miraculous. For this is your true nature, your divine birthright. Good night, and God bless you all.